There was a good team win. That was a quality team we played against, very talented, very well coached. You have a lot of credit to those guys. You know, they play very balanced as a team. I think Richie's doing a phenomenal job coaching these guys. We're doing a really good job of keeping these guys within the situations, all right, competitive and active in every game. I thought their plan to come out and how they were able to move the ball, you know, some things we had to adjust to as a team. I thought Pat and his staff did a nice job adjusting to what they were doing offensively. I thought T-Mac on the kicking game was able to make some adjustments throughout the game, give some plays down the stretch. I thought Jason and his staff did a good job throughout the game in terms of using some personnel, different adjustments, help us get going some different things. But I'm proud of the way the team responded this week to a lot of things. It was a short week. There's a lot of things you come off, you know, in terms of Monday Night Football, traveling, you know, the deals we had as far as the COVID stuff with guys in and out of the building. So very proud of the way the team came out and responded and prepared through whatever we got thrown this week. So it was a good, well-earned team victory. That being said, I'll open up to any questions you guys have.
Obviously, every win is important, but how much more important is it for the psyche of this team heading into the bye week?
You know, look, I say it all the time. I mean, every game's important. In terms of the psyche, I think you always bring that back to just the truth of what's on tape. And we talk all the time. This is a very good team we played today. And we know that when we play our best, when we play what we're capable of, we don't do things that eliminate our opportunities to have success. We know that we're a good team, too. We just can't do things that remove, you know, our opportunities to have success. There's a very small margin of error in this league. In terms of our psyche, you know, look, our guys come back to work every week. So when you turn the tape on, you can show them the evidence of what they're doing well and the evidence of what we have to go ahead and correct and what our plan is to fix it. You know, that to me is really what brings the psyche really in the mode it's got to be in. Because when someone shows you on tape the truth of this is what you are as a team, don't worry about anything on the outside, what they're saying. Don't worry about any opinion or whatever it may be. You look at the tape, you see what it is, and let's build what we do well. Let's correct what we have to do better, and let's keep moving forward as a team. So I've seen, you know, a lot of things in terms of our players. They've responded well to a lot of situations thrown their way. And they've done a good job as a team sticking together and improving on a weekly basis.
Joe, what does that tell you? For Zay with the testing, you know, the things that he had to go through with the testing and then to come through with the 2 interceptions?
You talking about Zay? Well, he pulled his best Ferris Bueller this week and didn't have to show up for work and went out and had, you know, career-type game. But, you know, he did a good job staying prepared. You know, was in all the Zoom meetings and all stuff. You could see, I mean, look, not speaking for Zay, but you can see the frustration level throughout the week. If he's in a Zoom meeting, team's on the field practicing, he's not able to be active and involved. You know, you're kind of 1 foot in terms of, am I going to be able to play? Obviously, when he got cleared, that was, you know, big for us as a team. And this guy went out there. He had a good day preparing on Friday. There's a lot of things he had to get in. You know, that was really the first day him moving around since the Kansas City game, you know, on Friday. So we get in there, and for him to go out there and really kind of get a different workload than a lot of other guys on the team to get his body back and moving, and then get the first reps he's going to have, you know, from a scheme standpoint, an adjustment standpoint. He did a very nice job staying engaged, staying ready, preparing. You know, we had a number of other guys on the team. There were a lot of floating pieces this week. So there was a large element of when we start talking about the actives for the game, the inactives, who's going to be available, who's going to be maybe a COVID flex. We went in this week truly with everyone has to be ready. We say that all the time, but this week was one of those deals where normally we're able to talk through some of the inactives early in the week. Anticipation, maybe it's through possible injury or game plan, how to play something. This is a week right there. I had to look the coaches in the eye in a staff meeting early in the week and say, hey, guys, just have them all ready. When we figure this out in terms of who's going to be available, we'll figure it out, but have them all ready. And I think Zay was in that crew of obviously staying ready, doing a good job preparing, and obviously came out today and he did his job very well, made a lot of plays for us.
Joe, you talk about how they responded. What does it tell you about the group that you have, about the way they responded this week with all of the stuff that was swirling on?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of things just kind of reaffirm all the things I've known about them all along. We have a very resilient team. We have a very mentally tough team. We got a team, and again, to me, the most complimentary word you can use for any group of people is team. And they stick together and they work together. They challenge each other, they come back, they respond. They come back after tough losses. You can sit there and you can lick your wounds, or you can look forward and say, what do we have to do to be successful this week? The ball's going to kick off today at 1 o'clock regardless of what happened last week. So we couldn't dwell on what happened, you know, on Monday night. We couldn't dwell on any previous game, success or failure in those games. You know, the team really just shows up and works hard every day, work with a good attitude. They accept the challenges we throw their way. They embrace the challenges other teams are going to give them, and they keep moving forward.
Can you talk about your running game? Can you talk about your running game?
I'll come right back to you, Jordan.
Can you talk about your running game, what Booker gave you, and then also when Eli had to go in there with Booker being hurt?
Yeah, I think both backs did a nice job today. You know, I thought Book and Eli both ran strong with good ball security. This was a team that we talked all week about. You know, they're a very effective team of punching the ball away from you and stripping the ball off. And you can see a lot of examples, those guys holding you up and looking for the strip out of the pile. Even on our kickoff return, same thing. They were definitely looking for the turnovers. And that's the way Richie coaches. They do a very good job of understanding the fundamentals of the game, what really makes the biggest impact. And that's, you know, the turnovers, the penalties, mental errors. So we knew going into this game that was going to be a big part of it. We had to make sure that we had very good ball security. We didn't give them any extra opportunities. and we had to make sure that, we were able to capitalize on the opportunities they gave for us. But in terms of running game specifically, the offensive line did a very nice job, moving the ball. Look, they got really good defensive front. They really do. They're penetrating front. They're very disruptive getting up the field. You have to deal with an element of size and speed. They're very long. They play with good extension. So this team does a very good job disrupting your running game. We're able to go ahead. I thought the game plan put together this week, with the offensive staff, they did a good job of seeing what we do well and what we can match up against them in terms of what our teams had success. I thought they found the right formula with that. And we also left enough flexibility in the game plan, because we always do, but this week especially, not knowing who was going to be available, that as we lost Caden in the game, you saw a lot more of Cunningham playing that kind of jumbo tight end and able to go ahead and create some situations that we could run to a favorable looks and create situations that we wanted to see certain looks on the field from their defense.
What's the difference in this defense the last 3 weeks? I think really you look way more the last 3 weeks kind of like you did last year, whereas early in the season you didn't.
I see the team as a whole, but directly, on your question about the defense, I just see guys improving. You talk about what helps you improve. To me, you just keep it simple. You go back to what's really important in this game. It's fundamentals. You go back to playing with good zone vision, good man leverage, good breaks on the ball, good footing. Good anticipation, not having bad penalties within the game. We got to keep playing with better pre-snap focus and post-snap execution. Got to keep doing a good job of that. But in terms of this defense of why they're improving in terms of doing it, to me it comes back to just how they stay committed to working every week. One thing I've seen a lot of the situational improvements of red zone defense improving throughout the season, the 2-minute defense improving throughout the season. Finding different ways of creating pressure, or if we're not getting a lot of pressure, having coverage combinations to change up. The other thing, too, is these guys are really learning how to communicate and work and play next to each other. Pat had a couple calls that he literally drew up in the sand. We talked about it last night in the staff meeting. Whatever we got to do. We understand who this team is in offense, defense, kicking game. You got to make an adjustment. Get it. I don't want to come out of this game and have if we could only get to this call, would helped us. So Pat and the staff sat there. They drew up a couple calls on the sideline. The guys understood the fundamentals of how to play it, communicated well, and they were able to go ahead and make some plays on it. And that was big for us.
Joe, you came into this game with only 2 running backs. One halfback and 1 fullback. So when Booker goes down, do you in your back of your head think, oh boy, now we only got 1. It's a fullback.
Well, Cullen can play as well too. Colin Gillespie is, he works all the time in practice. He's played for us in preseason as far as scrimmage stuff. Yeah, this guy can play too. So, everybody's accountably productive at their position. So in terms of coming to the game, we came in with 3 backs. So it was Booker, Penny, and Cullen. So they were all ready to go.
The fact that though, when you were going to run the ball, and Eli was the only one back there to run the ball, and he gets 21 yards on 2 carries, where everyone knows what's coming, sort of. How with an offensive line that often does not able to do that, how satisfying is that you get off the field with that kind of scenario?
It shows to me we're becoming a balanced team. Balanced teams can run when they have to run and throw when they have to throw. And that was a situation in the game where we had to go ahead and run as much time off the clock, be productive moving the ball, try to keep their offense off the field. So it became obviously in that situation, not that we didn't throw it, we did throw it, but it became more of a primary one to run the ball and be productive moving the ball. That Eli did a good job as far as breaking tackles and extending the offensive line. The tight ends did a good job as far as getting it going and making the blocks and moving them off the line of scrimmage, take advantage of it. Look, we have confidence. Say it all the time. We have confidence in all of our players. We really do. I don't blink no matter who's in the game. When they come over and they tell me Booker's down, my thought process is he okay? I'm never worried about, oh no, he's out, who's in. To me, it's okay. They all prepare. If they're at the game, they should be prepared.
You mentioned Pat runs and plays up in the dirt. Were any of those on that last drive?
Yes.
Anything particular you can mention?
I'm not going to go too specific into it, but he had a couple calls that he made adjustments on the bench before going out to that last drive. You talk about, the guy that was killing us is Waller. That guy's a good player now. They're finding this guy all the way down the field and seams and all stuff. He's a big target. He's got good hands. He's very fast and athletic. Obviously, and then Renfro early in the game too. Those 2 guys, they're an issue to deal with. And then you start tying in the backs. You got to focus on 83 and 13. And Richie did a good job with Greg and those guys obviously making the adjustments and, Carr finding the backs underneath. So they kind of created the handoffs by just through the checkdowns.
This is a quick follow. You guys have obviously had some difficulties in fourth quarters this year. It's hard for guys maybe, and that's maybe in the back of guys' minds or not. What did you make of that last defensive stand? Because that's a pretty stressful time, obviously.
Yeah, obviously that was a big part of the game, to end the game that way, end it with a turnover, and I'm always talking through all the scenarios. So as that's happening, I'm clicking back and forth and talking to Jason. Okay, Jason, I'm going to use a timeout coming up here. Just be thinking about if we're down, okay, is it a tie game? Are we down by 1 if they go for 2 and we got 2 timeouts? Let's think about getting in range for a field goal. Let's think about what we need. Start going through the menu. Clicking back over on the defense. Okay, what are we thinking here? One of them, we want to call a timeout based on seeing what they're going to do. So, I used that timeout in that instance to make sure that we had an understanding of offensively what they were looking for out of that personnel grouping, what they wanted schematically to match us with. And that was something that matched up into what Pat was kind of drawing up on the sideline. So we had kind of a new call, new personnel grouping from them. We wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. Ended up being productive for us overall.
What did you see from Roche? Obviously, he's come on the last couple of weeks, but that final play from your eyes, did you see the play as it was happening?
Yeah, I could see him kind of, making his way and getting to the block and getting to him. But I'd say this guy just works hard. I mean, he's a guy that when you watch his tape coming out, we liked him. Obviously, we didn't get him in the draft, went to Pittsburgh, and we were able to get him through the 53 cut. So that was something that when it happened was very good for us. I see a guy who works hard. He's got a high motor. He's really learning the game. He's got a skill set like all these young guys do, but all these rookies are really truly learning the game. When we start talking about the pass rushers on the edge, you look at these guys throughout the league, throughout just time. It takes these guys a little while to get caught up. There's a big difference between playing against the tackles and the protections in the NFL versus college. It's just reality is it's very different. Every one of those tackles, they're big, they're long, they're more athletic, they play with better anticipation. Normally it's tough to get these guys off the spot and just go ahead and walk across their face. So you have to have, what's your main move, what's your change up, what can you go to, in a situation. But he's done a good job being productive for us. He's made some plays in the run game. He's made some plays now in some pass rushes. He's doing a decent job for us in the kicking game, like every player. There's a lot of things just keep developing. This will be a good week for him in terms of, coming off and have a couple days this bye week of getting a better understanding of some things we get through this stretch of the season. But I see an improving player right there.
Joe, Kadarius Toney didn't get a target until, I believe, the third quarter. He tried a couple gadget plays early, but why was it so difficult to get him involved in the passing game? What takes so long to?
Well, we want to get all of our receivers involved. Obviously, they did a good job taking these guys away at different times. A large part of our game plan today obviously turned in the run game. We're running the ball very productively. So we're moving the ball. KT made a big play for us, getting the first down a stretch right there. That was big for us. Kenny made a couple big catches for us as far as moving the ball. But again, we're going to kind of go through the game plan and take what the defense presents with us. And we had the opportunity today to get the run game going. And I'm not sure the exact statistics all the way, but had some production in that was beneficial.
Is he limited physically at all?
What's that?
Is he limited physically at all at this point? From what he had the ankle recently, and then
I think everybody in the National Football League has something at this point. So, in terms of that 100%, once camp starts, no one's 100% for the duration of the season. So I'm not going to go specifically into what it is. Obviously, he was medically cleared to go out there and play. I think KT is a guy that plays through a lot of things. He's a tough dude, plays through a lot of things. So, he doesn't ever use that as an excuse, and we don't either.
Coach, did you get an explanation for in the first quarter, the unsportsmanlike on the punter? What was the explanation? What did they see to call that?
I don't know exactly what they saw. I'm going to look at the tape myself. It didn't look like he went to the head area. And I think he just explained to us that he saw, Coop coming up the field, made a missed tackle. He stuck his foot in the ground and looked like he went up to, we call it next level, and make the block of the person in front of you and get the thing creased and going. I don't know if he even knew at that time it was a punter. We're not going to take cheap shots on anybody, quarterback, especially whatever it is. But at the same time, if it's an interception or it's a return and there's somebody in the way where you're going to run the ball, you've got to block them and open up that seam. I have not seen the tape. I caught a bit of out of the corner of my eye. I'm going to take a look at it right there, and if it's anything, we have to correct, we'll correct. We have a couple other guys. Anyone said something before we go?
Joe, big picture-wise, this is around the time last year where you guys started to put it together. And you talked about eliminating mistakes. I'm wondering if big picture, as you look at this team, if you see some similarities as you won 2 or 3 to when you started to win 4 straight last year and started to have some success. Do you see some similarities, big picture-wise, to things?
I think it's easy to draw parallels between a lot of different situations that we've all been through in the past. This is its own team. It's a completely unique and different team than last year. The important thing for us is to keep improving and playing better ball every week. I say all the time, the goal is to be the best team you can possibly be at the end of the season. And I see us improving week by week. We got to keep on that trend, make sure we come back, get as healthy as we can, get rest over this next week, but then also at the same time, take advantage of the time we have to improve going forward. And then we got a tough stretch coming up, so we got to come back ready to play some, our best football.
Dan, can you talk about the touchdown to Evan, what you see in that play there?
Yeah, he did a great job going up and making a play. He just trying to throw it up and give him a chance, and he did the rest. So a heck of a play by him right there.
What does it mean for you guys to bring the win into the bye week?
Yeah, I think it's big for us to get this one and a complete team win and something we can build off of. So still a lot of things we got to work on and work to improve that we'll look to do over this week, but it feels good to get a win.
Dan, did you find you needed to be very patient in this game? I mean, you didn't throw any completion in the first half, but there wasn't a lot of points. A lot of times you had to lean on the running game. There was not a lot of production maybe from you offensively, but it was kind of a game you had to like grind through and stay close and not do anything crazy.
They're a good defense. Kind of their scheme and what they do lends itself to that, and we knew it was going to be one of those games. I think the guys up front did an incredible job getting movement, opening up holes, and then Book and Eli did a great job hitting them. So credit to them, and they're a good defense also.
You've had a lot of adversity this week as a team with all the COVID stuff and the tests. What does it tell you about your group that you kind of grinded through that and responded the way you did today?
Yeah, I think it's just a credit to the focus of the group and guys preparing despite being out of the building or whatever was going on, just kind of staying focused on what we were doing and making sure we were ready to go. So you're going to have stuff like that come up, and it's about being able to deal with it and still get done what you need to get done throughout the week.
Sorry, what have you observed in practice about Xavier McKinney's skill set?
Yeah, I think he's a smart player. I think he understands what quarterbacks are doing, and it was good reading eyes, good reading, in his coverage, and he makes, a lot of plays back there. He's obviously got tremendous physical skills, and he's a smart player, and played big time today for sure.
The wide receivers weren't especially involved tonight. I think only like 4 targets to the wide receivers, something like that. Was it something the Raiders were doing to take them away? Was that kind of the game plan? Like, how do you think that is?
I think it has a lot to do with how well we were running it and trusting that. I think, when you're able to do that, when the offensive line's playing like that, then you lean on it, and we have the the versatility of as a team to be able to play different ways, and that was working, so we stuck with it, and those guys stepped up. They did make some big plays when we needed them. So this team, our team, we can do a lot of different things and attack different ways. So gotta keep working on it.
When the Raiders get the ball for that last series there, for an offensive player like yourself, what is the stress level like when you're kind of watching that and you don't have any control over it? And can you talk about that defensive stand that you guys made at the end?
Yeah, I think in those situations you're always preparing, both ends. If we get the stop, if we're, in a 4-minute situation where we're trying to, bleed the clock, or we're, in 2 minutes and we got to go down and kick a field goal. So you're kind of preparing for both those situations and staying focused on that. But defense stepped up and did an incredible job like they did all game. So, ton of credit to them.
I know you're prepping to go out there in that moment, but were you able to watch? Did you realize what had happened or did you just hear the crowd and kind of react off of that?
Yeah, I was able to see. It's hard not to watch what's going on, and watch them out there. But like I said, they stepped up, played huge, and some really big plays down the stretch. So, ton of credit to them.
At that time of the game, the defense is on there, the crowd is rocking. This building hasn't been like that a lot, especially this year and in recent years, really. Did you kind of take notice of that and how the energy level is pretty intense and emotional then?
Yeah, I did. I think that was big for us. The crowd really got into it down the stretch there, and we really appreciate that support and don't underestimate how they can impact the game, and so they did a great job, and we appreciate all the support.
Daniel, the way Booker ran the ball, and then specifically when he was out, did you sense that Eli Penny, he's a guy who likes to get his touches there at the end? Did you sense how he stepped up there?
Yeah, like I said, both those guys played really well for us, and I think a lot of credit goes to the guys up front. I think they did a great job controlling the line of scrimmage, opening up some holes for those guys, and they found them, and played well for us all day. So I think both those guys, as well as the offensive line, deserve a ton of credit.
How exciting is the possibility to get Saquon back and Sterling back and have all your playmakers post by? And how much better can this offense be with everybody together?
Yeah, that's exciting, and I know those guys are working hard to get back, and we'll keep preparing and keep game planning based on who's available, and I think guys who've stepped up in their places have done a really good job.
Evan, take us through your touchdown.
It's a big play that we worked on all week. We knew what kind of coverage and the kind of defense they were going to play, and DJ made a perfect throw, literally a perfect throw, and trusted me with it, and I just went up and made a play for the team.
So you expect Gabe to be out there in that situation out on you?
Yeah, I mean, that's literally who they are as a defense, their coverage in that formation, literally all day, that's what they run. So we knew what we were going to get. We just had to go make the play.
You had a lot of adversity as a team this week with all the positive, false positive and whatnot. What does it tell you about this group that you kind of got through that and played the way you did today?
Yeah, we just don't blink. We just didn't blink. Did everything we were asked, did everything, had to jump through all the loopholes and all that stuff, and we didn't blink. And the coaches did a really good job of kind of navigating everything and allowing us to be smart, be safe, but still get our work in. And we just handled it the best way we could. So I really just not blinking and continuing to get the work done.
Evan, Kenny only got 2 targets, Kadarius got 1, and Slayton got 1. Everything else went to the running backs and tight ends. Did you know that was going to be a big focal point coming
I mean, we were just ready for whatever. And all those guys, obviously, I know they would love more targets, more opportunities, but they made some big plays with those opportunities that they got. But at the end of the day, we never know what can happen. There could be a lot of balls to receivers, tight ends. We just all got to be ready. And I know those guys are going to continue to work and keep stepping up just as everybody else.
What did it feel like for you to make that catch and hear the stadium erupt with cheers for you?
It was cool. Yeah. It was cool. It felt good. Mainly really felt good just making the play for the team. And we worked that play a lot this week, and for it to come down and cash in, that was big. So it felt good.
What did you make of the last defensive stand? And as an offensive player, how stressful is that when you're on the sideline?
I don't know if there was a camera on me, but I was pretty stressed out. But I had a feeling our defense is going to step up. They've been playing lights out past 3 weeks, honestly, and we've been following their lead. And tonight they showed up for 60 minutes. Huge task at hand with all their athletes over there and all their guys. So credit to them for this win. And we're literally just trying to follow their lead and service them. So they stepped up big. I was nervous. We've been in that situation a lot of times over the past couple of years. So, but I definitely was excited when we got that ball.
Do you like getting that opportunity down the field like that? I mean, that seems to be a little different type of route.
Yeah, of course. Any op is big for me. Like I said, just want to show up for the team. And when those opportunities come, I want to cash in and everybody did their job around it. O-line protected DJ. DJ made a good throw. Everybody else ran their routes, and like I said, DJ made a perfect throw. I just watched it, and it was a perfect ball. I just had to bring it in. So yeah, it felt good to get that.
You've been around a little bit. When a team goes into a bye off a win versus a loss, can it change a lot? Does it change your head? Does it change the headspace of the team, knowing you're playing for 14, 15
I mean, I don't know how deep, because we won. I just know it's going to feel good. It's going to feel good, and we're going to get rest. We're still going to get some work in this week and get a nice break. But I mean, anytime you're going in a bye week with a win, it feels good. To not have a bad taste in your mouth and still be able to see the game, watch the game, and make mistakes and continue to move forward and grow as a team. So definitely, it feels good with the win going into the bye week.
You talked about you feeling stressed on that last drive when the defense on the field. The crowd is very into it. This building is different. There was a different energy to it than a lot in past years. Did you notice that? And what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's been tough times with our fans and everything, and I think just as long as we continue to put good product on the field and defense, I mean, all the defenses that's been here throughout the years of this franchise, and for our defense to show up last home game and this game, I think they really fed off of that. And our guys are real energetic. They get them involved. And when we're in big situations like that last drive, big third downs, the crowd was into it. And so it felt good to just play good football for them and dig out a win, a big win for us and for them.
How do you envision this offense with everyone getting healthier and those guys coming back, Saquon and Sterling, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, there's been flashes of the offense in the previous weeks. Everybody healthy, Washington, Saints, all those guys making plays. So I know those guys are working to get back, and we're definitely going to be explosive and try to work and continue to grow and make plays all together. So I just know those guys are trying to get back as fast as possible, and we'll be ready when they do.
What was this week like for you?
It was a long week. Obviously, I didn't get to practice those 2 days, but I was still in meetings, so just try to stay locked in. Obviously, earlier in the week, I didn't know really what was going to happen as far as if I was going to be able to play or not, but just try to stay locked in throughout the week.
Xavier, do you use this to get out of practice now next week?
Said what?
I said, do you use these results to get out of practice?
No, because it's too big of a risk, man. But no, I just, like I said, I just try to stay locked in and, just follow whatever protocols that, the NFL has.
What did you see on your pick six?
Well, I just read the quarterback. I felt Winfro going out, and I was kind of just all eyes on the quarterback the whole time. He was looking it down, so just trust my instincts, and I went and I made the play.
And then, what are you thinking after you catch the ball? You see a bunch of green in front of you, right?
Yeah, touchdown. My mentality every time I get the ball is to get yards and try to get make a play, make a touchdown for our team. So that was my mindset through that play.
How about the other interception?
The second one, like I said, I just trust my instincts. I actually told Brad earlier in the game they did the same thing. I broke on it, but they actually threw a back shoulder. And I told them after that, I said, if they do that again, I'm going to be there and I'm going to pick it. And they did the same thing, try to run a double move, pumped them, and then threw it the same way he pumped. And, I made a play, so that's what happened.
Did you save him? Save him because James said you saved him.
I don't think I saved him, but he was there anyways. Either one of us would have made the play, but I told him that I had his back, and he knew that, and I made sure that I, accomplished that, and I did have his back on that play.
Was it harder to focus on this game and get ready to play given what happened with your former college teammate?
Yeah, it's a unfortunate event that's going on right now. My prayers is up for him and his family, and the person that passed and their family too. So I don't really have much comment on it further than that.
Xavier, did having to be out of practice this week because of the protocol give you second thoughts about not getting vaccinated?
You said what?
You're not vaccinated, right? So did having to be out of the practice this week as part of the protocol give you second thoughts about getting the vaccine?
I think it's everybody's choice. Everybody has reasons. So I have my reasons. Everybody else has their reasons. So that's what I think.
If I could follow up, what were your? You mentioned it. What were your reasons for not getting it?
That's for me. Not for anybody else. Yeah.
Xavier, you have three rookies playing outside linebacker and Trent Harris from the practice squad called up. Roche makes the big play. What have you seen from him, and just what kind of challenge is that for three rookies at a position?
I think they've been, playing their ass off. They come to practice each and every day. They're in meetings locked in. So I know they're going to go out there and play hard each and every time. And I'm not surprised when they make plays. I'm not surprised when anybody on the defense makes plays because, like I said, and like I've said before, we go out there and execute. We get the job done, and we just try to improve with each and every practice and each and every game. So.
Were you surprised you were able to play this game? I mean, earlier in the week, did you think you were going to be?
Yeah, I thought at first I was, like I said, I wasn't sure. At first I thought I wasn't going to be able to play just because I didn't know how the rules were. But I did know that I tested negative, so I wasn't quite sure. That's why it was kind of a longer week for me because I was in between. Am I going to be up or am I not going to be up? So it was hard to balance that. But when I figured out and found out that I could play and I practiced on Friday, I was good to go.
On Xavier's second interception, you describe like the coverage you guys were in there and what happened?
Yeah, we were in the cover 3. They ran a double move. I was beat on a double move, and Zay saved my life. So, shout out to Zay.
We've asked you guys a lot of questions this year about your defense not finishing games. What do you think you guys showed by finishing a game?
I think that it showed that we're capable of finishing a game. We got a strong defense, and we're here to compete, you know.
Joe was saying that Patrick was drawing a few plays up in the dirt on the sidelines a little bit, particularly in that last series. Can you talk about that, and maybe if there were any specific plays that made the difference on that last stand?
I wouldn't necessarily say he was drawing plays up in the dirt, but we was going over some calls that we might had in game plan to run this week that we might have ran in like past weeks from the past. So we definitely knew the call, but it just wasn't something we weren't prepared for. But he prepared us on the sideline, and we went out there and executed.
You had your taste of Kelsey last week, and then tonight you got your taste of Waller. What, in particular, the couple plays you had down in the red zone against him, what was that like? And I would imagine you were pretty satisfied when that ball sailed over to both of you guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely realized that he was a big, strong, fast guy, you know, within those plays. But, you know, he's an elite tight end, has speed, has size, and he's strong, too. You know, I was trying to quick jam him and stuff, but, you know, we was up there fighting, and sometimes he was getting the best of me. But like you said, I tried to win as many battles as I could, and fortunately we came out on top.
You guys went through a lot of adversity. Grow to this point in his career, obviously a career day today with the pick 6 and the interception late, but how have you seen him grow since he got here?
I think he's just picking up the game of football at a high rate. You know, he first got here, of course, like we're all new, we're all rookies. You don't know what all the league's about. And also coming in, he's learning a lot. And he's executing when he get out there. Like I said, he saved me today. He's being aggressive, making plays for us, and I'm thankful to have him.
You guys had a lot of adversity this week with the tests and whatnot. What does it tell you about your group that you got through that with all the complications and whatnot, and did what you did today as a group?
I think it shows that we're resilient. You know, we're able to adapt to any situation. You know.
After the slow start last year defensively and kind of hit your stride, does it feel similar right now?
I think it feels similar. I'm just glad we won before the bye week. You know, get some momentum going into the bye week, get our bodies recovered, and then hopefully we keep it going once we get back.
What's the difference in this defense the past few weeks? What's the difference in this defense the past few weeks?
I think we're just making plays when it's time for us to make plays, you know. Zay had a pick 6, and then he made a game-changing play at the end on the double move. So we're just making plays when the opportunity presents itself, and we're coming down with the ball.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
You can answer this.
Adoree had a chance for an interception, so I'm just wondering what it's going to be like in the D-back room in terms of the fines and the joking you're going to do with Adoree missing.
Yeah, we was joking about that earlier. He expects to come down with that ball. He definitely, we want him to come down with the ball, but I'm thankful he was there because, you know, he was supposed to be there. I'm just glad he was there because the post route was coming to me.
How's your hip?
It was great. Went back, got X-rayed on it, and everything was good.
So you laughed the other day when we said revenge game.
Oh, man.
Not a bad revenge game for you.
Yeah, like I said, it was, you know, just going out there having fun with these guys and, you know, really just like backyard football, talking smack to them and just running up and down the field. It was great.
How do you feel right now? What did they tell you? Do you have to go get an MRI or what's
I feel great right now. I don't know anything about that right now at this point, but as of right now, I feel great and, you know, just enjoy this bye week.
You worked so well when we were with you guys today because for a couple minutes you were the first 100-yard rusher you guys have had all year. What really clicked today for you guys?
Really, it just we knew what was at stake. You know, we know we had a bye coming up, but we wanted to, you know, go out there and prove that we can run the ball on these guys, and we did that. Our line was blocking it tonight, and it was open up holes for me to run through, and really, like, yeah, we were just doing everything that we needed to do on the offensive side with us running and passing to get this victory tonight.
Were you able to watch what happened at the end with both with Eli and then the defense getting that turnover from?
Yeah, I was actually out there on the field. I was waiting to go back in, but really, the last of the game part, played out and I didn't go in. So.
How aware 100-yard day? How aware were you of the 100-yard?
I wasn't really aware at all. I know when our running back coach said something about it at halftime, and I didn't really pay attention to it. I look at all that stuff after the game, but really, you guys telling me that I had 100 yards. That's pretty much like the first time me hearing it.
You didn't quite, because you lost 3 on the last one. So
I still total. I guess I still had over 100, so kind of makes up for it.
Like watching your fullback run the ball like that at the end.
It's good. He's a hell of a player. He can do it all. He plays special teams. He plays fullback. He can play running back, and he can catch out the field, block. It's like you got everything in one that you need. And watching him, finish out the game like that, it was critical.
You guys went through a lot of adversity this week with all the testing and whatnot, and the Zoom meetings and whatnot. Can you speak to what that showed about this group to come out and do what you guys did today?
We really just, told ourselves all week to just stick with everything. Our coaches and some players was out, and, like you said, we went through the adversity all week, going through everybody testing. Me today, I got to wear this mask. I'm vaccinated as well, but, it just was really, everybody going up in there and getting the stuff done, and Zoom meetings, with being focused on everything. It can be hard at sometimes because you don't know if some guy's on or watching or paying attention, but, once we got done with Zoom and came to practice, everything clicked and we were on the same page.
So were you in close contact? Is that way?
Yeah, with Gary, and Coach Burns from the game and stuff. So.
Do you think these last 2 games have shown them that even when Saquon comes back, you need to have a role in the offense?
I'll leave that up to, the coaches and whatever, they decide. But as of right now, I'm going to just enjoy, this and, come back from bye week and see what happens.
Thank you.
Sorry. How much of a relief is it that you're vaccinated and that being in close contact and ruled you out?
Oh, you say it one more time?
How much of a relief is it that being vaccinated meant you weren't ruled out?
When I was out? Oh, when I weren't ruled out? Oh, yeah. I don't know, honestly. We try to keep everybody safe and whatnot. Basically, if I wasn't vaccinated and, I was close contacted, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been out. It like that. Like, if I got tested and was negative, the days I would have still, end up being playing. So I guess that's how it works. I don't know.
Thanks, Devontae.
That's what I feel like.
Quincy, can you talk about that last play in the strip sack fumble?
I've been looking at it set all game. I was going power for the most part. That drive, wanted to give a change up, wanted to switch it up against a good player. And I beat him around the edge. He's a great player. It was a great play.
So what is going through your head when you're approaching Derek Carr at the end of that play? Because it looked pretty clear, a clear shot at him. Yeah.
Just finish. It goes back to what we do in practice. Just practicing finishing all the time, just at the top of your rushes. That's been drilled hundreds of times. So when you're in the game, your body's taking over.
When you get the ball out, are you even seeing it at that point? Do you see Leonard kind of?
No, I just heard the crowd start screaming. And that's how I knew. My head was turned the other way, and I saw the crowd screaming. I heard the crowd screaming, and I got super excited.
Joe was telling us earlier. Have you seen your pass rush kind of improve since you've been here?
Can you say that again?
In what ways have you seen this defense really grow and the pass rush improve since you've been here?
Yeah, I think it's just everybody gelling together, everybody working hard in practice, and it shows in the game. So I'm really thrilled with this defense, the way we've been playing. But of course, there's room for improvement. So we're back in the lab after this bye week, and we got a tough opponent next.
Joe was talking about. He was telling us a little while ago that Patrick was kind of on the sidelines. He was using the phrase drawing a few plays up in the dirt for that last drive. Stuff that you guys knew and understood, but maybe wasn't in the game plan. Was anything that you did on that last play there part of that? And do you recall anything particular play that was key there?
Yeah, we made some adjustments. You know, coach is great at coming to the sideline, making adjustments during the game. It's one of the things I'm understanding being a rookie is that, you know, there's going to be a lot of adjustments coming during the game. You know, we made some adjustments in the last drive and it paid off.
On that last play, on your play, was there an adjustment made?
No, that was a play we ran before.
When you guys are on the field in the last series, are you guys talking about we got to make a play, or are you just saying do your job, or what?
So anytime you have a 2-minute situation, you know, for the pass rusher that's on the field, I mean, that's time to show up. That's for any pass rusher. So, you know, that's the moments that we live for, is those 2-minute opportunities to help the team and get the quarterback down.
You started your season in Pittsburgh. What's it like playing for the Giants right now and everything you've gone through up to this point?
I'm thankful to be here. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thankful for the opportunity for the Giants to claim me off of waivers. And I've just been trying to get better every day. That's my job, to come in here with a great mindset, get better every day, and when my number's called, show up.
Quincy O'Shane was down for this game, a healthy scratch. I'm wondering if he was a good teammate about it, said anything to you and Ojulari and Trent and the guys who kind of took his spot this game.
Yeah, he's been supportive since I got here. Me and him was coming off the bench together. So that was the guy who was, you know, helping me through the playbook, helping guide me through everything. So he's been nothing but supportive, and I'm the same for him.